Hello everyone. In last video we had completed our question number 2 of chapter number 15, 5 and 9 and also completed question number 3 and 4 of chapter number 9. Now today we are going to start our question number 3 and 4 of chapter number 15 and 5. So let's get started. Now starting with chapter number 15, question number 3. Answer the following question as per requirement, and the first question is land as a factor of productions, and the answer is in the conventional usage the term land indicates the upper layer crust of the surface of earth. In economics, land is regarded as a natural factor of production. Besides agricultural land, it includes forests, mountains, rivers and other sources of water on the surface of the earth as well as minerals below the surface of earth. These resources are put to use for productive uses, therefore it is regarded as a natural resources for productions. Land is a free gift of nature, however, owing of its scarcity, it has become a prized commodity. A viability of land is limited and cannot be increased. Therefore, efficient use of land required planning and technology. Land is immobile factor of production. It cannot be shifted from the one place to another. Fertility and usefulness of land differs from one place to another. Land in Run of Kutch is less fertile in comparison to Gangetic plains. However, the availability of minerals oil has made the desert in West Asia very precious. Second question is limitation of socialist system, and the answer is the socialist system that has noble intentions of social welfare and classless society has the following limitations. There is no motivation to increase production as there is state ownership of industries. No need is felt for innovations and quality improvement as there is no competitions. There is total denial of economic freedom to the citizens. There is fear of bureaucracy due to dictatorial nature of the state. Every aspect of people's life is regulated by the state. Third question is difference economic and non-economic activity, and the answer starting with economic activity. An economic activity means earning मतलब कि income और spending money मतलब कि expenditure. Money is used for the exchange of goods and services. Production of goods and services is undertaken to earn money. Activities undertaken by an industry, a farmer, an artisan, education institution, private hospitals are some of the example of economic activities. Second one is non-economic activities. A non-economic activity is not undertaken to earn money. Free of cost service are provided by the non-profit organization to serve the society. The selfless work of social workers, charitable hospitals, mother nutrition, her child are some of the example of non-economic activities. Now, starting with fourth question, discuss the difference between economic progress and economic development. Economic progress, जिसको economic growth भी कह सकते हैं. Now, starting with answer, the difference between economic growth and economic development is as follows. Now, first one is on the basis of development process. Economic growth is a quantitative term, whereas economic development is a qualitative term. Economic growth merely indicates increase in the GDP, whereas economic development indicates increase in the GDP, per capita income and changes in the standard of living of the people. Second one is later and subsequent. Earlier, economists did not make any distinction between these two terms. However, the qualitative aspect was indicated by the later economists by using the term economic development. Third one is according to the changes taking place in economy. An increase in agricultural production by mere increase in the land under cultivation in economic growth. On the other hand, increase in agricultural production by application of scientific knowledge and technology such as hybrid seeds indicates economic development. Fourth one is in relation to the development and developing nations. Increase in the GDP of the developed countries like the USA is called economic growth, whereas increase in the GDP as well as per capita income in the developing countries like India is called economic development. Fifth question is write a note on primary sector or as describes India's primary sector. And the answer is primary sector in the dominant sector of the Indian economy. It consists of agriculture and allied activities such as animal husbandry, fishery, poultry, forestry and mining. These activities takes substantial contribution to the national income and generates maximum employment. The significance of the primary sector has gradually declined with economic development. Now talking about question number 4 of chapter number 15, answer the following question in details. And the first one is discuss any 5 features of developing economy or as write as feature on the developing economy. And the answer is World Development Report 2004 categorized countries having less than $735 per capita income as developing economy. The features of the developing economy are as follows. And the first one is low per capita income. The per capita income in the developing countries is low. The lesser national income gets divided by a larger population. As a result, the standard of living is poor. Second one is higher population growth rate. The population growth rate as per annum is 2% or more in these countries. There is pressure of population and the natural resources such as land. Third one is agrarian economy. The principal economic activity in these countries is agriculture. More than 60% of the total population is engaged in agriculture. The contribution of agriculture to the nation income is about 26%. And the fourth one is uneven distribution of income. There is concentration of wealth and income. 20% rich account for 40% of the national income. On the other hand, the poorest 20% account for about 10% of the national income. Disparity in income between the rural and urban areas is another indication of the uneven distribution of income. Fifth one is unemployment. The ratio of unemployment is more than 3% of the entire labor force. There is seasonal unemployment and disguised unemployment in the rural areas. Industrial unemployment exists in the urban areas. Sixth one is poverty. About 1/3 of the population lives in dire poverty. They are unable to satisfy their basic needs of food, clothing, shelter, education and health. Seventh one is dual economy. In these countries, backwards village economy and traditional society exist side by side with the modern urban economy. Inadequate मतलब कि insufficient infrastructure, means of transport and communication, education and health and banking facilities are inadequate. This hampers economic development. Ninth one is adverse balance of trade. These countries export agro product and minerals and import industrial products. Their income from export is less than expenditure on imports. Due to adverse balance of trade, their foreign debt goes on increasing. Second question is wants are unlimited. Explain. Human wants are unlimited and unstable. On the other hand, the resources to fulfill these wants are limited, scarce. Owing to the scarcity of resources, it becomes necessary to determine priority to satisfy wants. First priority is always gives to satisfy the basic needs, necessities of food, clothing and shelter. Therefore, lesser wants in the form of comfort and luxurious are satisfied. Third question is discuss limitations of market system. हम limitations को as a disadvantages भी बता सकते हैं और as discuss the limitations of the capitalist system. And the answer is, in spite of having many virtues, the capitalist market system is imperfect. Some of its serious limitations are as follows. Maximization of profit is the main object of the capitalist system. The industries focus on the production of luxury and comfort goods and reduces or neglect production of the essential goods. The natural resources are overutilized and wasted as there is no control of the government. Consumers are exploited as they do not have adequate knowledge of market. Concentrations of wealth and income in the hands of few rich increase disparity in income. The capitalist classes exploit the labor by paying low wages. The possibility of monopoly is ever present. Fluctuation in market leads to income instability, and such occurrences like collapse of market leads to worldwide depressions. Fourth question is discuss the distribution of resources in mixed economy, and the answer is there is coexistence of public sector and private sector in mixed economy. The central planning authority allocates resources to the public sector. There is private ownership and agriculture trade, communal small and medium scale industries, consumers industries. Of late, the private sector has entered into transport and communication. The resources for these activities are raised by individuals or institutions. The public sector owns basic and heavy industries, defense industries, atomic energy generations, and supply of electricity. The funds for these activities are provided by the state, as these activities are owned and managed by the public sector enterprises. So here chapter number 15 incomplete. Now starting with chapter number 5. Question number 3. Answer the following questions in detail, and the first one is write about the contribution made by ancient India in metallurgy. And the answer is ancient India had made extraordinary progress in the field of metallurgy. A bronze statue of the dancing girl was discovered from the ancient Indus Valley civilization. A number of statues of Lord Buddha belonging to the Kushan period were discovered at Takshashila. Numerous metal idols were made in South India during the Chola period. Metal statue of Nataraj is a masterpiece of sculpture and is famous all over the world. The metal statue of Ram the Archer is another well-known work of art in metallurgy. Metal idol of Lord Buddha was discovered in Sarnath. Copper idol of Lord Buddha was discovered at Satlanganj. Metal idol of the Jain deities in Mathura are excellent specimens of metal work during the Gupta period. Artistic metal statue of gods and goddesses, figurines of birds and animals, metal lamps and battlements, crackers are the example of metal art. Second question is write about the development in chemistry achieved by ancient India, or as write about the progress achieved in ancient India in the field of chemistry. The progress made in ancient India in the field of chemistry is as follows. Nalanda University had its own school of chemistry and Florence for study and research. Nagarjuna was the Acharya of chemistry at this university. Nagarjuna has written Ras Ratnakar and Arogya Manjari. He had advocated the use of allopathy with the herbal medicine. He had pioneered the use of mercury ash as a medicine. The copper statue of Lord Buddha discovered at Satlanganj in Bhagalpur district, Bihar is 7.2 feet high and weighed a ton. and the 18 feet tall statue at Nalanda reflected expertise in chemistry. The iron pillar Vijay Stamp built by Chandragupta has to not corrodate after more than 1,000 years is the best example of alchemy. Third question is discuss ancient India's program in medical science in surgery, or review progress in medical science and surgery in ancient India, or as given an account of the achievements in medical science and surgery in ancient India. And the answer is ancient India had attained unprecedented progress in medical science and surgery. Maharshi Charak had written Charak Samhita, which mentioned more than 2000 medical herbs. Maharshi Sushruta has written about the instrument used in surgery. Vagbhat had written Vagbhat Samhita and Ashtanga Hridaya and made valuable contribution to diagnosis of various diseases. Ayurveda, Hindu herbal science of the ancient times, is a rich guide to herbal medicines and medicines made from the minerals. A complete description of the process of making medicines, their classifications and uses of medicine is given in the ancient works. The surgeons had skills to operate on abdomen, kidney, cataract, hernia, stone piles and bladders. They could join the broken or displaced bones, extract the bone that had pressed into body. They performed gynecological surgeries. They could join the broken nose and ears. They were expert gynecologists and pediatricians. The Vaidya Corps recognized the symptoms of illness, prescribed medicinal and post-recovery dietary instructions. The veterans took keen interest in teaching the methods of surgery to the students by performing surgery and dead bodies or wax statues. Brahmanya Panchal has written Pregnant Shastra. Chakrapani Datta had written Chikitsa Sangra. Maharshi Patanjali had written Yoga Shastra. Maharshi Parashar had written Vruksha Ayurveda, and Shaliputra had written Ashwashastra, a work on veterinary science. Write about the scientific heritage of ancient India. The great sages of ancient India whom gifted invaluable heritage of science to the world. They have outstanding contribution in the field of metallurgy, chemistry, medical science and surgery, mathematician, physics, astrology and Vastu Shastra. India's ancient knowledge has been accepted by the world with gratitude. India's blending of science and region, traditions, values and parasitical knowledge is rarely witnessed in any other country of the world. The Indian heritage is the basis of the progress made by the world in general and the Western countries in particular. Starting with question number 4, answer the following questions point-wise, and the first one is write about the progress made by ancient India in mathematics, or write notable achievement in field of mathematics, and the answer is a number of epoch-making discoveries in the field of mathematics were made in ancient India. Decimal system of weighting and measuring was in extinct in the Indus Valley civilization. This was confirmed by the instruments of weighting and measuring discovered at the Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. And here in the next point you have to write question number 2's answer, and the next point is the names of numbers made up by placing 53 zeros after one word discovered in ancient India. Bhaskaracharya had written Lilavati Ganit and Bijganit. He discovered the signs plus and minus for additions and subtractions. Brahmagupta introduced variation types of equations. Bodhgyan discovered theorem. Apastamba defined the measurements of Yajnavedis and Shulva Shastra. Modern mathematicians rooted in these discoveries made by mathematicians in ancient India. Second question is write a short note and astronomy of ancient India, or state the contribution of ancient India to astronomy. The contribution of ancient India to the science of astronomy is as follows. A systematic study and research of astronomy was undertaken in the ancient universities in India. Many treatises were written on astronomy by the ancient Indian scientists or astronomers. These astronomers studied in the planets and the movements, constellations and the other celestial objects and developed astronomical principles based on the calculations. Mathematician Aryabhatta described the main principles of astronomy in his book Arya Siddhanta. He declared that the earth rotates on its own axis and that the shadow of the earth on the moon was the reason for the lunar eclipse. Owing to his contribution to astronomy, India's first satellite was named Aryabhatta. Brahmagupta propounded the law of gravitation in his book Brahma Siddhanta. Varamihir was a great astronomer as well as astrologer. He brought Panch Siddhantika and provided basic information on astronomy and astrology. He started the effects of the movements of planets and human beings in Brihad Samhita. Third question is, write a contribution of India in the field of astrology, or else describe Varamihir's contribution in the astronomy. And the answer is, Varamihir was a great Indian astronomer as well as astrologer. He had written Brihad Samhita as astrology. Varamihir had divided astrology into Tantra, Hora and Samhita. He started the effects of planets, man's future. He had stated the traits of human beings, various types of animals, the time of marriage, ponds, wells, gardens and good omen for sowing. And the fourth question is, which information are included in Vastu Shastra? And the answer is, following information included in Vastu Shastra: proper planning for dwelling places, temples, places, ashwashala, forts, armory and town planning. So here we are completing our revision of FA2 and you have to write all the revision in your fair notebook. All the best for your exams. Thank you.